Trauma is an experience that develops suddenly and unexpectedly in people's lives, where people realize that they cannot cope with this new experience and feel intense grief, stress, horror, and fear, which threatens the safety of themselves and of their loved ones. What are these traumatic events? Traumatic events could sometimes result from natural disasters and could sometimes be caused by humans themselves. These events that we experience are unusual, but the reactions to it are normal, and each person could display different reactions. Some persons react by fighting against it, some by freezing, and some by fleeing from it. If we see a dog running towards us, ready to attack while walking on the street, we could display different reactions, such as fighting against it, freezing where we are, or running and getting away from it without looking back. There is no right or wrong reaction here. They develop instinctively according to how that particular event unfolds. Changes start occurring in our body, thoughts and emotions during or after this experience. We could explain the impact caused by trauma in our lives much more clearly with the following example. Our brain acts like a camera and records everything that we experience in our daily lives exactly as they are. However, post-traumatic incidents appear as if separated into bits and pieces of photographs. Concepts of time and place become vague. We try to make sense of what we experienced piece by piece, and that sense of completeness in how we perceive the world is disrupted. The things we remember until that moment are quite vivid, and when we remember the same event, we relive that moment with our five senses involved. If we hear a sound that we had heard at that moment again at another time, we will instantly feel as if we've been teleported back to that specific time. The fear that we experienced back then could be felt again in the present time. This is the most significant factor that distinguishes trauma from everyday fears. The event that we experience gets tangled in one's mind, and even if the person goes to different places or to a safe place, the knowledge there continues to exist and the person always carries that tangle in their mind. Any small reminder could take us back to that moment and disrupt the regular flow of our lives. Trauma takes hold of our mind so much that it will make us relive the same horror again in every unfavorable incident and make us come to a point where we will always expect the worst. We could think that this particular incident is our own fault and this is why we experience these things. Actually, this is not our fault. What matters is being able to find the courage to look back when we feel safe enough to do so, to be able to overcome this negative expectation at some point, and to clear the mind of the expectation that the worst will happen again. The reason why certain events create a traumatic impact on us is the inability to free ourselves of feeling trapped and hopeless, and the inability to untie the knot in our minds. It could be difficult for some people to cope with the trauma on their own. Perhaps you might not be sure about whether you need additional help. You may expect people to think that you are weak when you ask for their help. These are completely normal. It may not be easy to open up to a stranger, but don't forget that there are experts and institutions to help you overcome this situation. We may fall, and we might find it too challenging to get back up from where we fell. But we could still stand up and continue to walk.